Hi everybody, it's Leigh Newport with Stage by Design. I hope this finds you safe and well, despite the very unique climate that we have in today's world. Today I'd like to talk to you about keeping your sellers safe, and this is really geared towards agents who are providing inventory in their clients' homes, and whether or not you're providing staging as part of your value proposition to the effect that you are incorporating furniture, artwork, and accessories, or whether you just have that stash of towels that you like to bring to clients, or maybe a couple of lamps. This really is for you. We are, as a business, no longer providing occupied staging services with regards to providing soft goods and furniture in homes that are currently being lived in. Although we are still working in vacant homes, we do have to follow very strict guidelines, mostly self-imposed, as the CDC has no guidelines with regards to how to handle staging, inventory, or even have any conclusive information about how long the virus can live on items such as soft goods. All the research that we have done, both through the CDC and through trade organizations, is very much conflicting and inconclusive as far as a definitive number. So we have decided to err on the side of caution and, again, not provide those soft goods in houses that are occupied. Now, having said that, we still have properties that are currently staged and under contract where clients are actively living in those homes. So we have taken precautions to make sure that not only are we keeping the sellers safe, but more so the next potential client and ourselves and our families in how we handle the removal of this inventory. So I'd like to share with you what that looks like and give you some recommendations on how you might incorporate this into your own business, whether it's you loading things into your minivan or whether you're hiring movers or whether it's your own staff. Part of the primary concern for this is eliminating community spread. It's no longer about person-to-person contact, but what happens when you have the active virus that's on a pillow and then you shake it when you put it into a bag, and then you put that in your minivan in an uncontained area, and then you decide to drive your child around just to get some fresh air because we can't go anywhere, but at least sometimes getting them out of the house is good. This is to minimize, again, the risk to you and your client. So I'm going to break it down for you, and I'm also going to send a supplementary document that will give you some links to the recommended products that we are using in case you find that it's helpful for you. So the first thing, of course, is asking that no one be present in the home while you are destaging. That's, for us, that's very important, whether they need to take a walk around the block, take a drive around the block, whatever needs to take place, but we ask that they not be present. We also recommend, if possible, if it's not raining, open all the windows prior to our arrival. And then once we arrive at the house, the first thing we want to do is make sure we're wearing our gloves, our personal protective equipment, PPE. Now, for our recommended guidelines, we think that 5 mil is the best option. My husband is an EMT, and that's the required thickness that healthcare providers need to have. I have purchased some gloves that are a little bit thinner, and let me tell you, they rip. They're fine if you're just walking around holding a clipboard. But if you need to be actively doing anything, they tear so easily that we really like the 5 mil thickness, and they have served us well so far. So when you arrive on site, get out of the car. Depending upon how you're going to handle the shoe situation, I'm going to get to that in a minute, but put your gloves on after you have gotten out of the car, and either have an extra pair of socks or your Lysol spray or antibacterial, antimicrobial spray outside the vehicle or on the front porch. It's your choice. So all of the bins and boxes and bags that you take in with you, we again have some very specific processes. The first thing, of course, is we utilize the very large clear trash bags from Costco, readily available, not terribly expensive, because they are so large you can throw linens in them, you can put lots and lots of pillows, but they're also see-through. So when we go into the client's homes, instead of taking those pillows out, even with a gloved hand, and putting it into the bag or into an exposed bin, we are putting the bag over the actual soft goods, if at all possible, and then we're tying them up, and that's how we'll retrieve them out of the house. For any hard surfaces, I believe it's my understanding that metal is the surface that the virus can be valid on for the longest amount of time. We're wiping down anything that is a hard surface, such as wood, glass, or metal, with antimicrobial silver cloths. The reason being is that these harsh chemicals, even Clorox wipes, can absolutely damage those wooden surfaces in particular. We can't sanitize a pillow, we can't launder a pillow, but we certainly can close it up. But we wipe down all of the furniture and those hard surfaces, and then we shrink wrap it to contain, again, just anything that could still be left on it. But also, as a staging company, it protects the items from surface scratches and wear. We are incorporating UV lights to pass over our couches, which again, then we will shrink wrap. And then to take it even a step further, we're taking our bins. If you don't have the bins that have locking airtight seals, we actually use the ones from Costco with the lids that flip in. We like them because we never have to worry about finding the matching lid. And also they have little ridges so they can be easily stacked in a vehicle. However, for us, they also have holes on either side, which is honestly good in most circumstances, but not in these. So if we pack the breakables inside those plastic bins, we then put them inside the plastic bag and tie it up as best possible. Now, important safety tip: it's great that you are wearing those gloves, but do not bring your phone into the home. And the reason I say this is because if you take the gloved hand that's been on the surfaces and you take a call or send a text, you're then touching your screen. And then you put it back in your bag or your pocket, and then you've transferred whatever's on your hands to your device and to yourself. So that's very important. I also want to talk about shoes. Oftentimes the booties are being utilized for showings in homes, and those are great if you're simply walking around. As a staging company, we have never advocated the usage of these, not only for our movers, but even if I were to walk into a home simply carrying bags of pillows, I put those booties on my feet and I am a danger and a risk, at a greater risk for falling, because they are very slippery, particularly if you have a tile or hardwood surface. So our action plan is to do one of two things. We either keep our shoes on in the house, where normally we would respectfully remove them, but in this situation, when you are walking around the home, essentially, when you're done, you walk out and you're on the front porch and you take your shoe and you sanitize the bottom of it with that spray before you ever get into your vehicle. If you're not comfortable wearing shoes in a client's home, we suggest that you take your shoes off outside. You walk into the home wearing just your sock feet, but you've already had a second pair of socks outside that you remove with your gloved hand. And you basically take your socks off with the gloved hand, you remove the gloves, then you put your new socks on. And we're just, again, taking these very extreme levels of precaution because, although it might sound great to say, oh, don't worry about white towels, don't worry about those shower curtains or those lamps. These are things that are difficult to kill the virus on. They are soft goods, and the more you move them, the more you actually run the risk of exposing yourself or your staff to it. So our process, once we've packed these things up and taken them back to our facility, we are literally quarantining them. We're putting them, tagging them with a different color of a painter's tape so that they know that they are actually in isolation. And because we're not staging occupied homes, we won't even unpack them and restore them to the shelves until 14 days. That's extreme. The most I've heard is that a virus could live on the surface for possibly 4 to 6 hours after contact. However, this is what we feel is the best use of our personal protective equipment and our resources to make sure that everyone is safe. Now for you, if you're taking this back to your home, to your storage unit or your basement, remember, just be very, very careful, and maybe you want to rethink about taking items from house to house. Laundering your clothes is always a great thing as soon as you get into the home. If you want to take your towels to have them for other usage, you literally walk into the washing machine, you undo the bag, put it in the washer, right? And then take the bag out and close it while never touching those soft goods that you've put in there. I think the greater concern, though, is what can't be laundered or professionally cleaned, such as your pillows and your towels. And again, how do you even protect those hard surfaces to make sure that you're not transmitting the virus? So I realize this is a lot of information. I certainly hope it's been helpful to you. And we here at Stage by Design are a resource for you if you have questions. Our goal is to make sure that we're staying safe, that you are staying safe, our clients are, again, as safe as possible, and then we're minimizing any sort of personal or community spread, as it's our responsibility to do so. So we're here for questions. I will send a follow-up document as discussed, and also even have some information about wipes that you can wipe down your phone with. Those Clorox wipes will harm your touchscreens over time. So we have some products that are a little bit easier to find versus standard sanitizing wipes. But I hope this has been very helpful to you. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch, and have a great day.